Okay, folks, are we live? Who's out there? Can I see the chat? Live chat, no. Yeah, live chat. Top chat's no good. We want the live chat. Look at the hair. Oh my god. My hair has still not been washed in, what? It's over a year. It's about 13 or 14 months now. I'm going to wait until the beginning of next year. Talk to me, people. Talk to me. Talk to me, goose. Who's out there? Somebody's out there. Oh, let's see what I can do here. I'm inside the tent, so it's all a bit blue. Let me see if I can show you around. Here's my door. I got some lighting set up for later because it's going to go dark soon. Here's where I'm sat. The laundry bin, the chopping board, the upturned pan, and the phone stand. A couple of beers in readiness. The notes for what we're going to talk about. Here's the tent with no roof. So you're looking at a tarpaulin over the roof where all of the different panels have been ripped away and the walls and doors have been ripped away. It's all very fun. And look at this though. Look at this. Now Tina's getting jealous because I'm talking. Tina, quiet now. Quiet. Quiet. When she hears me talk, she assumes there's somebody here and she gets all jealous. Here's my nice Christmas tree. Powered over there by the EcoFlow down here, look. Just around the corner, you can't really see it. But, this is where we are, folks. I'm bright blue. I'm sorry about that. I can't do anything about it. That is the lighting in here. Somebody talk to me, you fuckers. Somebody type something. Type! Come on! I'm going to go mad. I don't know if the volume's working. Is anything working? Maybe I'm just muted and it's all just ridiculous and I'm chatting to myself for no reason. Come on, Goose. Talk to me, Goose. Jack Attack's got to be out there. Or Karen. One of you is going to be out there. It's nothing. Nobody's chatting to me. Okay, I'm going to carry on as if. Carry on regardless, as somebody once said. Okay, folks, this is my third attempt at... Did I look into that tent? Give me a clue, Ocean's 11. I've got multiple things with tents, but I don't know what you're referring to. This is episode 48 of TrampCast. It is Sunday, the 24th of November, 2024. The channel is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, that's yours truly. Down and out. A tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent individual, a person of no fixed abode. Some would say a bum. Someone who sleeps rough or on the streets, or in my case, in a field. Dutch tent. I don't. Maybe I've missed a message or something. I'm not sure where we're at there. Send me a link and an email if I haven't seen it already. I'm not sure. Apologies. Maybe I've just forgotten. I don't. Stuff happens. Okay, folks, this is TrampCast, where we look at the successes, the failures, and the other happenings in my life as a tramp, a bum, a homeless person, a blah, 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 all that list of, that we just went through. An Englishman living in Spain, trapped by circumstance. Multiple videos discussing the circumstances. I'm not going to go into all that now. If you're new here and you want the backstory and you've got the time, TrampCast 001. It's about 2.5 hours long. It covers the full story, all of the questions that everybody's ever asked. It's pretty much all there. That's where you want to begin. As I said, I'm an Englishman, trapped by circumstance. And I would argue, not of my own making. It's not that I'm an alkie, a druggie. It's not that I'm some massive criminal that has caused my own downfall. Literally circumstance. You got to watch the video. Go watch TrampCast 001 and all will be explained, or almost all. If you've got questions after you watch that, tell me you've watched it and then tell me you've got questions. And we'll maybe do a follow-up sometime this week if anybody needs that. Now, here's the format of the show. I've missed a few weeks. Apologies. I have my ups and downs, folks. Sometimes we get to a Sunday and I think I'm going to do a TrampCast, and then I've got all my notes on the phone and then I've got to copy them out onto a piece of paper because I can't. The YouTube app doesn't let me show other things or dip in and out of other things. So it has to be here on paper before I can do anything. And you see it? You see the work involved? There's 3 hours work there in researching certain parts and copying other bits out and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I'm just not in the fucking mood. I'll be honest, I'll be frank. I'm not ashamed to say. It gets to 12 o'clock on a Sunday and sometimes a little bit of dread overtakes me and I just don't feel it. And it just so happens that we've just had like, is it 3 weeks I've missed? Maybe 4? I'm not sure. And it just wasn't there. I just didn't feel it, guys. But here's the format of the show. It's in multiple sections. The first section is just to kill a bit of time, see if anybody else arrives in the stream. We do a few facts about the number of the episode. This is episode 48, so we'll do some facts or some stats about the number 48. We then cover some thank yous for the week, people that have donated via PayPal or in person here in the field, or who brought me food or whatever. So we cover that. We cover themes of the week, and then I detail the events of the week, the successes, the failures, the happenings, as we put it. So that's the format for the show if you're new here and you haven't seen it before. So as I've just said, this is episode 48 of TrampCast. So here are some facts about the number 48. The number 48 is divisible by 10 integers. The numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24 and 48. It's a highly divisible number. It is a fraction at 48%. It can be written as 12 over 25. In binary, it would be written as kind of the equivalent of 110,000. Basically, the 2 ones at the beginning, are at 36 and, hold on, let me get this right, 32 and 16. Got to get my 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, yeah. So it's the 32 and the 16 that gives you the 48. So 1, 1 and then 4 zeros. Almost screwed that up. Been a long time. I used to be able to tell you numbers in binary, in octal, and in hexadecimal. They used to come. It's a long time ago though. I'm out of practice. You see, when I was telling you it, I got halfway through and I knew I'd got something wrong. I knew I'd fucked up and I hesitated. I knew something wasn't right. Okay, in religion. In the Jewish, I guess that would be the Torah, there are 48 prophets, plus 7 prophetesses, but they don't count those are separate. Keep the women out of it. Don't blame me. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay. Again, the Torah. Wisdom is acquired in 48 different ways, apparently. Here's another one that's religion. I think, do you count Buddhism as a religion? Because there's no God. I don't. 48 vows by Buddha. 48 vows and promises to provide salvation. News to me. I just read this shit. I'm just telling you it. 48 minutes, it's a sport. 48 minutes in an NBA game. That will be basketball, yeah? Or netball. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, that we almost always have one of these. The International Direct Dialing Code. The number 48 will get you Poland. We'll be through all these in a minute, folks. Not many more to go now. We're almost there. New Hampshire was the 48th state. No, that's not right. New Hampshire was 48 peaks over 4,000 feet. We'll get to the states in a minute. Arizona was the 48th state to join the Union, followed only by Alaska and Hawaii, wasn't it? Hawaii was 50, hence the TV series of the same name, Hawaii 50. Okay, leaving only, we have one fact remaining with a few sub-facts, as we usually do. The periodic table and the atomic number 48 gets you cadmium with the initials CD. This is a silvery white metal with a particularly low melting point. In the Earth's crust, it's literally fractions of a part per million. It's not even 1 part per million in the Earth's crust. This stuff is kind of practically non-existent. Yeah. Discovered in 1817, and it's used frequently as a pigment. Red, oranges and yellows is the colour it tends to give, but it isn't used much because toxicity. You know how historically things tend to get used until we discover that they're killing people, and then their usage kind of drops off kind of rapidly. Nickel cadmium batteries in recent history was one of the major uses, but again, that's kind of fallen away as lithium ion and everything else has taken over. The current darling being lithium iron phosphate. So cadmium is in decline. Its usage is dropping off. Major uses currently still solar panels, certain chemistries. Again, not in the ascendance, probably on the downwards trend, and control rods in nuclear power stations. I think because chemically, it has the shells of electrons. It's missing a few. It's got a few slots available, so things can join it and react, and they don't shoot off as readily and break down. It's just more of an absorber than a reactor. So there we go, folks. Those are the facts about the number 48. Next up, here in episode 48 of TrampCast, Sunday, November the 24th, 2024. Here's the thank yous for the previous week. Now, what we're going to do, let me just highlight, because we've missed a few weeks. I'm going to cover, in this episode, I'm going to cover this week and this week alone. And the missing weeks, I'm kind of going to do some specials, some out of order TrampCast specials to backfill those previous weeks. I've got the notes. I had them all along. I just wasn't in the bloody mood. So the notes are still here, mainly. there was a period when the phone broke and I've had to get a replacement phone. We lost a week there. But after that, we're all here. So it's just me and the phone. The notes are on the phone. I need to copy them into the book and spout them out. I'm going to try and do that this next week. I'm not going to say once a day every day, but I'm going to do 2 or 3 days this next week and try and get that all up to date before American Thanksgiving, which I believe is this Thursday. And then it's my birthday Friday, which will also be Black Friday for you Yanks. I guess the rest of the world now, we're all picking up on that. You might gather living in a broken tent. Living in a broken tent with, whoa, I didn't take the click. Living in a broken tent with no roof, just a tarp over the top. I'm not going to be off doing Black Friday shopping. Ocean's 11. Go fuck yourself, mate. Don't tell me I'm talking shit and that I'm a donkey face. Get to fuck. Who the fuck do you think you are coming into my f***ing house? Giant shit. Fuck off. What are you doing, lad? Hide user on this channel. Goodbye. Okay, folks. Let's continue. What have I done so far? I've read out some stats about the number 48. And already I'm chatting shit and I'm a donkey face. Nice. Cheers to those of you at home. Drink. Again. Here's a nice Christmas tree. Breathe. Relax. Should be Christmas. Okay, folks. Let's get on with the thank yous for the previous week. I lost track of where I was explaining the upcoming. I am going to do a Thanksgiving kind of thing. I'm not doing the meal and all the family thing, but I did last year. I did like do a thank you video to all the people that have helped me during the year. And I did get a bit emotional, a little bit teary. I don't think I broke down in tears on camera at that one, but I think afterwards when I got back to the tent, I was a little bit emotional. I did it on the cliff top over yonder. And I think I'm probably going to do something similar again. With your indulgence. I know I'm not an American and I'm a Brit and there's that whole red shirts, all of that. But with your indulgence, I would like to take part in a Thanksgiving tradition of giving thanks and being thankful to the people that have helped me over the past year. So I'm going to do that. Like I said, I've got a birthday on Friday. We've got Christmas coming up not too long away as well. But that's what's upcoming. But for now, let's get back on schedule. And I'm going to say thank you now to the people this week that have helped me and that have donated and that have given me things. I'm going to start. Now here's one, he's given twice. The first one actually falls just outside of the week, just before this week began. But because he came back, I was a bit slow to thank him. I thanked him this week and then he gave me even more. Ivor H, who gave me a goodly amount, that ain't cheap, and then some, times 2. As I said, I thanked him a few days late. I wasn't checking my emails and my PayPals and things, but I thanked him and he sent me the same again. God bless him. Then we've got Sven B. Again, that ain't cheap. Thank you, my friend. Sven, come see me, my friend. If I know you're here in Torrevieja, if you're free one day, feel free. Just come on down. Maybe drop me an email and tell me, tell me when. And then this morning, I got a PayPal donation from Jodie M over in Australia. Jodie M, thank you very much. And she's quite a regular, Sven's a regular contributor. He sends, I'm not sure, I don't think he's on a fixed timeline, but every month or two he sends me an amount. And Jodie has sent, I've lost track now, 3, 4, maybe 5 donations. So thank you, Jodie. Here in the real world, I also must thank my friend Tom, who's been here twice this week. He brought me breakfast one day. When we run through the week's events, we'll get to the days. But he went out for breakfast, and he pays a couple of euros extra to upgrade to the large, and then he bags half of it up and brings me the half that he didn't eat. So thank you very much, Tom. And also Friday, he often goes to the Sunday market and gets a chicken. And I don't know if he did that this week, or he might have just cooked. He might have just randomly cooked me a chicken dinner. But he came on Friday and brought me food. And when he comes, he'll either bring a bottle of a cold bottle of beer, a litre that we split between us. Or this time, one of the times, he brought a Tinto Verano, a red wine, and I don't know if it's lemonade or cola, but he brought a bottle of booze anyway, and we split that. Also this week, my friend Steve was in town, and Steve's the guy who brought the clips, the big clamps that are holding the tarps in place. He brought some bigger, stronger, more powerful ones from the UK that he uses to hold tarps onto frames on market stalls. Because I had problems here when the big storm came. We're going to talk about that shortly probably, but the big storm a few weeks ago that unfortunately killed so many people here in Comunidad Valenciana, which is a broad area, a governmental kind of district that we fall within. We're in the Alicante province, not the Alicante city, but the province. But that's 1/3 of the Comunidad Valenciana, and a lot of people were killed. And it was rough here for that one night. It was rough here, and I kept losing my roof, and all my walls and everything split and got broke. So Steve brought these extra. He helped me fix this tarp over the roof when the roof disappeared the first time, and when I've lost some of those clips and they've twanged away and blown away, he's brought these bigger, more powerful ones. Hey, Conrad, you're going to have to come back later in the week, my friend, for your thank you. We're going to do a thank you to you probably Wednesday or Thursday, the way things are shaping up. But bear with me, my friend. It's my first broadcast back after a little break, and I got some catching up to do. So you're in the lineup. But this week I'm covering this week, not last week. You're in last week, which will be a little while before we get to. Bear with me though, my friend. I will get there. Okay, folks. So Steve brought me the big clamps, the big clips, like think close pegs but on acid, for holding the roof on when the wind's blowing 60, 70, 80 kilometers an hour, as it did that one night. I'll just say now that I did spend that one night, once an hour, almost every hour. I was out in the window, shorts and a t-shirt, but with my coat on and shoes on, and my head torch, and just trying to reattach pegs, and they were pinging off and flying, as I say, 3, 4, 5 meters, and I was trying to find them on the ground and reattach them, and I've lost half, almost half, maybe a third. They just ping away and they're gone. I found some in bushes, I found some on the ground, some stayed attached to the fabric while it flapped in the wind. A full third of them, out of 20, 22, I was down to 14 by the next, 13 or 14 by the next day. They're just gone. I recovered what I could recover, and the rest are just gone. And I haven't got a Scoobies where they've gone. Okay, so that's Steve that we're thanking there. Thank you, Steve and family. Also to thank Karen and family. Karen came by Friday morning. She was on the way to the airport, and Karen brought the Christmas tree, folks. Look at this. Look at that. It's what, about 2.5 feet high? What's that? 75 centimeters for your metric. 75 centimeters, yeah, for your metric folk. It might, from base, from the foot, you might. I don't think you quite make a meter, but you could make the argument maybe. And I'm lucky that I've got the EcoFlow. It plugs in. It runs off 220. Is it 220 volts Spain? Yeah, not 240 like UK, but it's all close enough. 240 volts AC, but it's got the little. It's got the transformer. It's running on 12 volts, half an amp. So it's running on 6 watts. I think the EcoFlow can run it for 15 hours from a full charge, which it's usually almost on at this time of night. A little bit less today. The panel was in, the solar panel was in cloud a little bit earlier than normal. But if I have this on for 3, 4, 5 hours a night, it's not gonna hurt anything. It's gonna be fine. And I'd asked Karen to get me some fairy lights, which she did. They got me fairy lights, and I've got a string of fairy lights up in the bedroom that work off batteries, which I recharge. Which I recharge from the EcoFlow. But I think we're good. I think we're good. It's a mood changer. Having the tree is just. Now, my first year here, before I even had a tent, when I was just sleeping outside, I had a tree, but it was just like a little fir tree someone had thrown away that I stubbed into the ground, and I had a few little ornaments, a few little things I'd picked up, shepherds and I don't know, you know the kind of thing. I just sat under the tree. This flashing lights, it's a bit more modern. It's a bit more. It gives you the feels. It gets you in the mood a little bit more. And like I said, I've got these. The first night that I put the fairy lights on, I only put one string. She got me 2 lots. I put one on, and by the time I fell asleep, they'd been on for 6 hours, just running from 3 AA batteries. Like I said, they're rechargeable, so they'll plug back in and recharge the next day. 6 hours is more than enough. Put them on at 8 o'clock at night, and they're going to be on, well, 2 or 3 in the morning before they lose it. So this is Karen. She brought me the Christmas tree. She brought me lights. She also, as I said, they were on the way to the airport. She brought me food and drink. But she also bought me, because it's my birthday this week, and I didn't tell her. She just remembered from last year. She brought me, I've got a bag over here with a birthday present in, and she's also wrapped me up a big box that she says is my Christmas presents, plural, inside the box. Karen and family, thank you very, very much. Thank you. And another person I need to thank, a lady called Colleen, who's been here twice in the last week. Now, Colleen, I could tell instantly from the accent, was from Yorkshire, which is where I was born. Thank you, Conrad. She's from Yorkshire, which is where I was born, and we were just chatting one day. She arrived at the same time that another guy was here. Anthony was here a few weeks ago, and he just asked where she was from, and she named, I don't know whether you'd class it as a town or a village, a place called Wombwell in South Yorkshire near Barnsley. WOMB, so womb, and then well, WELL. We call it Wombwell. We don't say womb. It's not a womb. It's Wombwell. And I'm from the next village over, a place called Darfield. What are the odds? Here you sat in the middle of Spain and someone starts bringing your dog bones to chew on, and she's literally from like the next village over. There you go. Such is life. So Colleen, thank you. She's been twice just this week. She's been coming for 3 or 4 weeks. I think maybe a little bit more actually. It's mainly stuff for the dog, mainly. Thank you, Colleen. Tina appreciates it. Tina can tell. I think she hears her car engine and she just knows. If Tina just starts barking and wanting to get out of the tent, it's 90% of the time she's recognizing a car engine and she wants to go meet them. You should see her when Karen arrives, and Karen's husband. Tina just, she's off. She doesn't wait for me. She doesn't wait for permission. She's off and she's down the road to go meet them. Just gone, and she's running. This is how I know that Tina's not in pain. She's struggling with her condition, but if she was in pain, she wouldn't be running the way she does. She's eager to go and meet people, and off she goes. So yeah. So these are the thank yous. These are the people I'm thanking. As I said, there's Ivor H, Sven, there's Jody, Tom, Steve, Karen, and Colleen. These are the people that have particularly helped me this week. I know there's others of you out there that were last week and some that were the week before. I will get to that, folks, but today's show is about the last 7 days. I will backfill the others in the coming days. Now that I feel back on top, now that I'm back here. As long as not too many people are having a go at me like the guy before. I mean, I don't know where some people get off. He started off nice enough, and then he launches an attack just because I don't remember some message or I've missed something or I don't know. Okay, folks, that was the thank yous in this episode 48 of TrampCast. Now, themes for the week. Let's talk about what the overarching, depending on your pronunciation, overarching themes this last week. Ever since the destruction of the tent, I've been aware. So the minute that I got this tent, and it's a sealed unit, the floor comes up into the walls, and then the doors are like hatches within it. The rodent problem disappeared immediately. The rodents were just gone. Rats, mice, I had no food here for them. I also found their holes, and I was pouring, I'm going to say, noxious substances down their holes and maybe drowning them in their bases. Some people would call it bottles of piss that I was pouring in there, but I'll just say noxious substances. I've maybe laid off that for too long, and I think they've recolonized some of their nearby nests. So I'm now back trying to dissuade them. But ever since we got the big splits in the sides and the missing walls and the big tears, I've been aware that there was the opportunity for them to get back in. It's not just a case of climbing a 9-inch skirt at the bottom of the door to get in. There are various holes and places they can just walk in. Big holes in the sides of the walls. And I lie here at night and I'll hear a ripple in the plastic, and sometimes it's just the wind blowing the tarpaulins, the roof or the walls, the tent, whatever. Sometimes it's that, but sometimes it's not. They're back. So far, it's only the little ones. It's only the... And I came in the other day, a couple of nights ago, and I could hear something scuttling around in the bedroom that's used for storage. And I went hunting, and I picked something up, and I saw the little brown bugger. And I'm chasing him and trying to make cat noises and growl and squeal, and off he ran. And he might even have run into my bloody bedroom. He ran. I've got no idea where he ran. I only caught them. They're so fast. If you've ever seen a wild mouse, they are so fast. A couple of nights before that, I actually had one in my bedroom, and I had a big rubbish bag that I'd been filling for about 3 weeks, just with empty bottles, kind of food wrappers, and it just got bigger and bigger. And I heard this pawing at this bag, and I'm not sure, even now I'm not sure whether he's trying to like chew his way in or whether he's trying to climb over. I lift the bag and the bugger shot into the bedroom. He's only in the doorway, and I've cleared the obstacle and let the fucker in. And I think the day before that, I couldn't be sure of this at first. I'm lying on the edge of my bed, and something just shot right like past my head. Reminds me of back, if you watched my first videos, the first week, if you go to my channel page, click videos and sort them for oldest first, and you watch my first videos, I tell this tale, I think, of how I had mice and rats in it wasn't even a tent then, it was 6 sticks in the ground and a tarpaulin over the top. And I tell the tale about how a mouse literally ran past my head on the side of the bed. A couple of days later, something stole a banana from off the bedside cabinet and found the skin outside. Rats. Got rats in my bedroom back then. It's back. I've had like an 8-month respite from it. I've had 8 months with a nice sealed unit of a tent, like a haven, keeping them out. And all of my food now, most of my food now, is inside plastic boxes and things. Thomas Eriksson, hello my friend. You also are going to be getting a thank you, but you've got to wait for a few days time when we get around to backfilling the missing weeks. This episode is this week only. You're just outside that, I think. Mice, rodents, rodentia, mice and rats, they're back. Now that my tent is dilapidated, it's falling apart, they've found a way in. And even if they don't find anything, because most things, like I said, most of my food items are within plastic boxes, things that are useful to them, not tins and bottles. There's a few of those laying around. But most things that they might be interested in are put away. But they'll still send out a scouting party every now and again. If they find something and get access, they'll go away and bring all their friends back, and then things escalate. So I'm going to have to go and buy some mouse traps. And that's not easy, because the place that I would buy them from, what we call in Spain a chino bazaar, a Chinese shop. It's a tat shop, like a pound shop, Poundland, Dollar Tree, whatever your equivalent is in whatever country you're in. And low quality control, everything's crap. Speaking of cats, Thomas, yeah, I took Tina out at 2 o'clock in the morning one day. I'm not sure if this was this week or last. And I had my head torch on and I glanced back towards the tent and there was something glowing at me. There was 2 points of light. And I'm looking at it, and I thought it was one of my, like, these 8 litre water bottles that I've got outside my tent. They're here because water, but they're also being used as ballast to hold down tarpaulins and things in storms, hold things in place. And so sometimes you've got these plastic these points of light shining back off plastic. But this thing's looking at me like rather intent, and then it moved. And I thought, that ain't no water bottle. Now, my instant thought was cat from the size, the spacing of the eyes. There's a possibility that there's another guy over the back of the trees here, and he's got a dog that will come to me. If he's neglecting his dog will come to me for food and water. There's a possibility it was his dog and that I frightened it away, shining the torch and what have you. But it could just as easily have been a cat. And here's the thing. Obviously, I want cats here to keep away mice and rats. But I've got a dog. She doesn't want cats here because dog. It's been a it's been a bone of contention between the two of us for quite a while. Yeah. It was just so reflective, but it was so steady for about 30 seconds. It caught my gaze and just held. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, isn't it? Is that a plastic bottle? Is it? And then it moved, and then it just, I don't know, closed its eyes or put its head down, and it's just gone. Who knows? But so anyway, my friends, the return of the rodents is definitely a theme, not just of the week, but it's going to be, unfortunately, it's going to be one of the stories of the winter, I guess. My last tent, a bloke called Simon bought it for €90 second hand, and I got about 10 months out of it. This one is bigger, but it was brand new, and I only got 6 months of it in good condition, and it's had the roof missing for a couple of months, and now it's all the walls and everything else are missing as well. It's been a little bit of a disappointment. And as I said in the video I did this morning, I don't know if you've seen that, but the end that doesn't get the sun is the end that's broken the worst in the end. It was the last end to break, but it went more bigly. I know it's not a word, but it's not just, I thought ultraviolet would be the big problem, and hence I think that's why the roof went. And it's why bits of that far end, at the southern facing end, have gone. But why has the north end failed so badly? I don't understand that. I don't know why the north end has failed as badly as it has. I don't know whether to contact like the manufacturer or the shop that sold us it and ask. I know full well these things are not designed to be used full time. I know you're meant to use them for a week or two per year, and you pack them away and you and your family go on holiday, here and there over the next 3 or 4 years. I know that using it full time for 8 months isn't the use case that they're designed for, and especially not in Spanish sunshine and ultraviolet and in a field exposed to the winds that we've had here recently. I mean, in the storm, the average wind speed was 40 kilometers an hour, but I kid you not, we had gusts that must have been 70 or 80. I had the tent almost tipping over, despite, have you seen the armchair? Have you seen what I'm sat in? I don't know whether I can show you, if you've seen this before. It's like a Queen Anne bloody armchair that I'm sat in. There's a rug, there's a coffee table, I've got a TV. I've got chests of drawers. I've got 8-litre bottles of water dotted around. There's plenty of ballast in here, and yet the whole thing was like straining and bending over. I thought the carbon fibre rods were going to snap. It's not the use case that the tent was designed for, so I'm in no way alleging any kind of product failure on behalf of the manufacturer. Not at all. The tent's done me proud for as long as it's done me. My use case is extreme. I get that. I get that entirely. So yeah. So here we go, guys. Themes for the week: rodents and weather and the tent. I think I've just covered all of that. The other stuff really is the stuff that's upcoming. Thanksgiving, I've said I want to kind of take part in again. I can't do the whole meal thing. I could maybe buy a bit of something and do something, but I risk bringing down the powers that be on me because they don't like me having fires in this field. Hence them stealing my gas barbecue and gas bottle. And I still use the word steal. Hey, Edwardo. That's the mayor. I'm still angry with him. He sent his boys in. But Thanksgiving, and then I've got my birthday coming up, and then we're in the run up. We're in the prelude to Christmas. Hence Christmas trees and lights and fairy lights and all of this. And the only other real theme I've got for the week is YouTube and videos. I'm back. If you haven't gathered, folks, I was on a downer. I hesitate to use the word depressed because it has clinical meanings that I don't think I qualify for. But I could be wrong with that. I've said previously that my mum was diagnosed depressed and also schizophrenic. I'm also aware that that can be hereditary. It's a thought. It's there in the back of the mind as a concern, which makes me even more reluctant to use words like depression and what have you. But I think I'm back. I think I'm, I did let a few negative commenters get me down before, which is why I just reacted the way I did with the guy who went off on one a minute ago. I'll probably let him back in later. I'll think about it and maybe undo the ban. But you come into my online home and start mouthing off and being negative and calling me names. What was it, donkey face or something? I know I'm no oil painting. I know this. I got no teeth. I got a white beard. My hair is a fucking mess and hasn't been washed for a year. Literally over a year not washed. Hasn't even been cut for, I don't know, 4 months, 6 months. I'll ask Karen when she gets here. Even though I've got the clippers, I could just it only took me, I had a beard like this a few days ago. I had the full beard, like 3 or 4 months worth. To the point where every time I took a drink, it was running down and around and dripping down onto my t-shirt. And for a month, I'd been saying, this is a problem, I need to do something about that. For a fucking month, I did nothing about it. And eventually, I plugged the trimmers in, the hedge trimmer, plugged it in, charged them. Less than 2 or 3 minutes to take the lot off. People say strange things online. This is true, and I've probably done it myself, which is why when I do ban somebody, and I've only 5 people, in all the time I've had this channel, I have banned 5 people, and each time, about a week later, I go back, look over what was said, and reconsider whether to let them back in or not. You give people a second chance sometimes. sometimes not. Depends how much you piss me off. This is my domain. This is my online home. If you remember the Tarzan cartoon, this is my domain, and I protect those who come here. That's my channel, yeah. If I feel that people piling on me, and especially when I'm in a fragile mood anyway, like I'm only just coming back from feeling, I'll say depressed. I don't normally use the word, but let's go with it and say it. If I'm just coming back from feeling piled on by people and a little bit depressed and down, and then somebody starts, it sounds from what he said, he's tried to recommend a tent or something to me, and he feels slighted, he feels I've ignored him or not followed through on something. Maybe I have, maybe I've forgotten a message, maybe I've missed a message, I don't know. And he comes back all shouty and sweary and name calling. Get the fuck! Who the fuck do you think you are? But, you know. Okay folks, so those were the themes, the YouTube and videos, and I'm back. This is me. This is my themes for the week. Let me see if I can put a bit of light on over here, because we're losing a bit of light now. That's not too bad actually, is it? That's not bad. I like that. Okay. I can even read my notes by that. Okay folks, we are coming up on 52 minutes in. Shall we begin? We begin, as we usually do, with last Sunday. Now, I would usually talk about the time period following TrampCast. There hasn't been a TrampCast for a few weeks. So my only real note about last Sunday night was to TrampCast or not to TrampCast. And as I think I've explained, I sat there in the afternoon and I was kind of half-heartedly, I was starting to make the notes and write them up. And it just, didn't feel like it. Now, let me be clear. I enjoy this, that the talking to you guys, that the sitting here prattling away. I enjoy TrampCast. I enjoy talking. I didn't know I would. It's been a bigger surprise to me than to anyone who knows me that I actually enjoy doing this. I didn't think I could talk to a camera for 1, 2, sometimes 3 hours at a time. I had no bloody idea I could do this. I even listened back. After I do tonight, I will play back this very TrampCast, and I'll enjoy listening to it. I tell you that now. I can tell you that already. I had no idea. I didn't know I could do this. But here we are. So I enjoy actually doing the TrampCast. The ball ache is the notes. Through the week, I type them into a text file on the phone. And then at the weekend, I have to write them out. And then I have to research, like, the numbers section. You know, the facts about the number 48, because it's episode 48. Then I have to go into my PayPal and look at the payments I've received, the donations I've received, write those down. And look back through my other notes and make a note of people who've been to the camp and who've brought me things. Now, look. I don't want to say it's a chore to have to copy from PayPal notes onto the paper. It just is a little bit. But I don't mean that negatively to those of you that donate. Folks, I have a PayPal account. The details are listed in the description. If you look below, you'll see it says Delta Mike down and out in Torrevieja. Then it'll say a couple of words and it'll say more. Click the word more, it'll expand. You might have to click more again. Somewhere in there, you will see a link to a web page where you can make a PayPal donation. If you're of a mind to, and if you've got the money, it's appreciated. All help is appreciated. I'm a guy living in a field. I'll take any help I can get. I will beg. This is e-begging in a way. Some people would say it's a grift. It's a kind of a term thrown around on the internet. Technically, it means a con. I'm not a con, but you got to get your grift on sometimes and actually ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. The link's there. If you're of a mind to, and you don't mind and you want to do it, it's greatly appreciated. Especially in the run-up to Christmas, especially in the run-up to winter. I'm hoping at some point to get an electric blanket, because I've got the EcoFlow here that will run an electric blanket for 3 or 4 hours, and come January maybe, but February in particular, it just gets to the wrong side of comfortable, and 2 or 3 hours of an electric blanket in the tent might make a difference. It's either that or I have to break out things I'm not allowed to have to boil water to make hot water bottles, and then the police come round and arrest me, and it all gets a bit messy, and it's awkward. But I've got the solar power that I can charge the battery through the day, and then I could power an electric blanket at night, in the same way that I'm powering a Christmas tree here. Give me a second. No, I missed with that click. I missed again. Come on, there we go. In the same way that I'm powering that Christmas tree from the EcoFlow, I could be powering an electric blanket come February, when it gets a little bit, I don't want to say cold. I have never been properly cold in Spain since I arrived here. Apart from the day that I was knee-deep in floods. November 10th stroke 11th, 2 years ago, 2022. I was cold that night, and my dog was, well, she was neck high in water because it was knee high to me. But I got a donation, Thomas. My friend Karen brought me the tree. I asked for fairy lights, and she came around and said, "Here's some fairy lights, but here's a tree I had lying around that isn't getting used at the minute." Thank you, Karen. How many times, folks? Come on, how many times? I think at every single episode, TrampCast 001, Karen first turned up in my life. Her husband was one of my first subscribers, like subscriber number 34, I think. Where are we now? 1144, 45? Subscriber number 34 said to his wife, "Watch this bloke, he's going to do a live stream." And I had the long hair, I had the beard. My beard was down here. It had been kind of shaped long and narrow, and my hair was a mess, and even more so than today. And she said, "Hey, I'm a hairdresser. I can come and cut your hair." And a day or two later, she did. And we've been friends ever since. And she's given me so much help. When we do the Thanksgiving thing on Thursday, it's going to be Karen. I mean, it just, Karen and family in so many ways. She bought this tent. She wanted to buy this tent outright 8 months ago when we got it. She walked into a shop and she messaged me and said, "It's this one or this one, A or B, pick." And she was just going to pay. And I'd had offers from you guys, money for this, money for that, money for a tent. Can I buy a tent? Can I buy you a tent? 3 or 4 people sent me money and said, put that towards a tent. So when she bought this monster tent, and you've got to watch, I just watched that video back, the video where I took down the old tent and put up the new tent as this was 8 months ago. I just watched that back. But I had to twist her arm to let me pay for half of this, to let you guys pay for half. I got nothing, but to let you guys pay for half. But she was fully on for paying for the full damn thing. And then when I got the EcoFlow, and I didn't have enough money for solar panels, and then the cool box, the fridge box that I've got out there, she stepped up and when she took me shopping, she wanted to buy them, and I made her loan me the money, and I'm yet to pay back on big pieces of that, any of that. Karen and family, thank you in so many for so much. So yeah, guys. So this is what we've got coming up. So this, where was I don't think I got past last Sunday into TrampCast or not to TrampCast, and I've gone off on tangents, haven't I? Who knew? Okay, so into Monday of this last week. Early dog walk, glorious day, glorious morning, and Tina drags me off out, and this is where I'm facing this. I was getting all depressed about the beard. I had the beard still at this point, and I think I got, who was it, Thomas? I was chatting with somebody, and I said, I've been a bit down, I've been this, and even silly things like this beard, and how for a month I've been wanting to get rid of it because I drink a coffee or beer or wine or whatever I drink or eating curry, and it's coming down and dripping off comes out off the moustache, around the beard, and drips off and down and onto my clothing or my shorts or whatever. And it was ridiculous. And for over a month I'd been wanting to get rid. So finally, yeah, I'm toying with the idea, and I've plugged the trimmers in, and I'm charging them. Again, the EcoFlow, it's got the full AC. You plug them in, and they charge, and I'm toying with actually running the hedge trimmers over the face and doing what needs doing. The same day, this Monday, Karen and family are on a plane. They're heading out to Spain that evening. They'll arrive in the evening. So I've got friends inbound into the country. Always nice to know there are more people here. When my support network, as people call it, when that grows, when there are people here in the country, I always feel a little bit better, a little bit happier. I know I'm going to be meeting people over the next few days. You guys, previously I could go a month without talking to anybody. Maybe a nod or a wave or a buenos dias to people walking past. Maybe in the shop, the person on the till will ask if I want a bolsa, a bag. You know, necesitas una bolsa? Do you need a bag? Sí, or no, tengo. No, I've already got. That was like that could be the height of my conversation for a month. So people in country, people who are coming to the camp, people who are helping people, it's just their presence. Sometimes is a step up. Yeah. So early afternoon anyway, I take the plunge, and the clippers are charged. I get them. Now, I did a video last time I did my beard about 3 months ago. I apparently held the clippers the wrong way. I held them like it was a razor, an electric razor. It kind of has a divot shape for your thumb on the one side. So I did it like coming downwards, like you would with not the hair trimmers really that you. So other way up, I'm told. Everyone told me last time. So this time I got them, and I just and literally the only tricky part was going over my mouth. So catching this part under the lips and then catching the part over without cutting your lips or whatever in the middle. 2 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes tops. After I'd done it, I just went over again, just to make sure, but it didn't get it. Honestly, I've got a month wanting to get this out of the way, and it was fucking done in 2 minutes. Crazy. I am the king of procrastination sometimes. I really am. And I know that I've always known this. I knew this like when I was at school and when I was at college and when I was at university. My homework or essays or dissertations at university, I would start a dissertation 11 o'clock at night, the night before it had to be handed in. I always did well. I flew through all that crap. I I got a 2-1 without even trying. I should have had a first, but I missed one unit because my wife was in hospital and there was a bit of, you know. But the course itself, I never learned anything at university. I was there just to pick up the tickets, and I did a 4-year degree, and during the 4th year, one of the lecturers turned to me, one of the professors turned to me and he said, if you'd approached us and told us your previous experience, you could have skipped the first 2 years. Thanks! But I was always a putter-offerer. I was always last-minute merchant. Stay up all night drinking coffee and getting the assignments done, and then getting on the bus at 7 o'clock in the morning to go and post them in the mailbox, in the pigeonholes where you had to deposit these things. I've always been a last-minute merchant. Is the thing. Great procrastinator, and it was the same with the beard. I put off shaving it, trimming it for at least 1 month, but maybe a month and a half. And in the end, it was 2 minutes work. And all the equipment and everything was here. You explain that. It was just the general fug, the mood, the depression, the can't be arsedness. There you go. So that was my Monday, guys. That was my Monday. Yeah, after weeks of procrastinating, I just finally got the clippers and got it done. That was my Monday. So into Tuesday, and my friend Tom, this is where he brought me a breakfast. He'd been out and had a breakfast himself. He paid a couple of extra euros to upgrade from a medium breakfast to a large. He only ate the medium, and he put the rest in a Tupperware and brought it to me. Thank you, Tom. A little bit later that day, Karen, who'd arrived the day before, she comes round. Karen and family come around and just say hello and yeah. But she brought me some beer, and also Steve came around a little bit later, and he brought these clips, these clamps, like think clothes pegs but on steroids, you know, real big beefy spring for hooking the tarp on. And it's a good job he did, because no sooner had he done it than, I think it was the next night, gusts of wind. There was a real storm further down the coast in the Mar Menor in Murcia, but I think we caught like the tail end. We got a little bit extra, so I was getting hit by gusts of winds the next night, and I was really glad that I'd got these stronger clamps holding the roof together. For those of you, I know people are coming in and going all the time. Let me just see if I can. So here's the wall of the tent, and then above that horizontal line you see there, that's the seam that would have been the beginning of the roof. And that you're seeing above it is not the roof. The roof is gone. That's a tarpaulin that's spanning the entire tent, because the roof is almost all gone. And in places, like behind me over here, where the dog is, you see the dog sticking her head out the hole in the wall. There's actually literally a hole in the wall there. The wall's gone. Tina! Quiet, darling. Quiet. Hey! Sorry, folks, I'm shouting into the phone. Such is life. What have I got? I've got another light here if we need it. Here we go. A bit better? I think so. A little bit more light. On the star of the show, obviously. I am the main character in this production. Bit of Morecambe. I lived in Morecambe, don't forget. Eric Bartholomew, as he was originally. Okay, so Tuesday, Tom's brought me breakfast. Karen's been around after she's arrived. Steve's been around and brought me these clips. The rest of the day, here's a big one I've been on this week. The Mentalist, the TV series. Patrick Jane, as the character was called. I love those types of TV programs. The smartest guy in the room type TV programs. Sherlock Holmes. Like I said, The Mentalist. House, MD. I know he's a doctor, but he's basically Sherlock. If Sherlock Holmes was a doctor, he'd be House. Programs like that, where you've just got this Elementary. That was another one, another TV series based on Sherlock Holmes. The smartest guy in the room, the genius that can just solve anything. I love all those. So at the minute, I'm just downloading like crazy The Mentalist and going through, because when it's on TV, it's good. You watch it week in, week out, but you miss episodes. Stuff happens. You're not home. Tina girl, what are you doing? That doesn't sound good. You better not be doing anything naughty. I'll be angry. But I love, oh, I missed, what have I just missed? I missed a message. Oh. Donegal over landing. Hello, my friend. Yeah, I'm back. Ups and downs, as I mentioned earlier, if you play it back. Theft or harassment issues I've faced, Thomas is asking about. The only theft I've had in my entire time being homeless in Spain was the police and the bin men. The police called in the bin men and they took away everything that was outside my tent, everything in the camp. I had green plastic garden furniture, 4 chairs. I had 2 sunbeds for laying out on. I had a gas barbecue and 2 gas bottles. I had bottles of water. I had flasks that just happened to be outside. Plates and knives and forks, cooking utensils, pans, plates, everything food related except for the food itself, they stole. I use the word stole advisedly, I would say. No paperwork in advance, no court, no judge's orders, no nothing. They took what they took, no receipts, no appeals process, no nothing. And the bitch stood at the door here trying to arrest me and threatening to shoot my dog if I stepped outside the tent. The first thing she did when she arrived was threaten to shoot my dog. It's the only time I've had any kind of thievery. Hold on, the dog's doing something she shouldn't be doing, and I don't know what. I'm going to put my head torch on, and I'm going to go see what she's. Something's crinkling and crunching. She's got hold of something. Oh fuck! She's got hold of something she shouldn't have hold of. Just bear with me, folks, because something's not right. Tina, the fuck are you doing? What is this? What have you had? Chocolate. You had chocolate. Bad girl. Bad girl. Does it smell of bad to you, darling? Come here. Something smells bad here. What have you done? You better not have. Move. Come here. Move. I could tell you were doing something naughty. Okay. Maybe you come here with me. Come on back. Come out here. Come out here, you buggerbugs. Come on. Yes. Come on. You can't be left unattended for too bloody long, can you? Sit down. Sit there. Sit. Oh, God. Sorry, folks. I had one square left of a bar of chocolate. She's chewed the wrapper up and there's paper everywhere, and she's had the one little square of chocolate. And I know dogs and chocolate, I know, but poison's in the dosage, isn't it? Big dog, little piece of chocolate, not a problem. Little dog, big bar of Galaxy, problem. She's alright. I even give her the odd piece of chocolate every now and again. I don't like it when she steals from me though, you little bugger. Okay, where are we guys? Where are we? Mentalist, Tuesday, that's what I did with the rest of my Tuesday. Into Wednesday. Quiet day. As I said before, it got a bit windy. We had, at times, there were gusts of wind that were ripping through the camp, and you know, even with these big clips that Steve had brought me, these big clamps, after a day of wind, I'd have to go out and stretch the tarpaulins taut again, stretch them out, make them tight, and reposition some of the clamps. Not so much the big ones, not so much the big new ones that he's brought, but some of the smaller ones that I'd had originally would move around. So that was mainly Wednesday, just a quiet day in the tent, a little bit windy at times, and watching more Mentalist, because why not? What else am I going to do? Now all summer, basically this area I'm in now, my living room, I haven't used. I've been using my bedroom because laying on the floor was cooler. Sitting in this chair in summer, where my head is now, could be 40, even 50 degrees Celsius. I got a thermometer just on the hanging from the ceiling just above me, and even today it hit 45 at head height. That was, you know, the top of the ceiling, stood up head height. So in summer this room didn't get used, and so it all became like a dumping ground. Things, all this bedding back here that's on the back of the chair was on the chair, and I had food piled in front of the chair and bags piled on top of bags, and you know, it all got a bit much. This will come into play shortly. This is important, kind of on Friday mainly, but so yeah, Wednesday was a quiet day, and I was in the bedroom just laying down watching TV basically. Although I downloaded it, I'm doing it off the internet. I don't like to stream. I've talked about this before. Streaming is downloading and throwing away. I like to download and keep. That way, if ever I want to watch it again, there's no more downloading involved. It's already here. I've already got it. So that's my preference. That's what I tend to do if I can, as long as I don't run out of disk space or storage space. So this was my Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, Scruff Dog. Single F, SCRUFDOJ, dog, D-O-J. G, fuck. SCRUFDOG. Scruff Dog, single F. It's a channel that I like. He was a viewer of another channel that I like, Big Clive and Big Clive Live, bigclive.com, spelled out, D-O-T, spelled out as a word, on YouTube. But now he's got his own channel, and he does a Lego stream type on a Wednesday. And I hung out there Wednesday night, and I was just chatting with the blokes in the audience. Into Thursday, and this is where we had a surprise rain. Just a little bit of rain came out of nowhere, no warning, and only half an hour. And it caught me a little bit off guard, because I'd been checking the weather forecast, and the weather forecast had said no rain for the next 10 days. So suddenly to find the next day that it's already raining, that was weird. But it came and it went, and there was no real harm done. yeah, no, but it just took me a bit by surprise. But it was a test of all of these when Steve would come around and had helped me with these clamps and reattaching the tarpaulins, and also we'd hooked up some Toldos awnings. We'd got the fabric from some awnings he brought last time, waterproof fabric basically. One had a bit of a tear in that we had to patch. But when my tarpaulins came like 3/4 of the way down the wall and stopped, and then we had a tear, and the wall would sag, and it would have been dumping water directly into the tent, not to the floor. So we put these Toldos, these awnings, we put this waterproof fabric behind the tarpaulin. So as the water ran down, it then ran down the Toldos and onto the floor, not into the tent. So it was the first test. What are you doing, darling? It was the first test of that. So that was good. It was good to get a test out of the way and realise that we were a bit more waterproof than we'd been in the big storm, when we had quite a lot of water ingress. A lot of water came into the tent in the big storm 3 weeks ago, one way or another. What else we got? Okay, a little bit later, a lady called Colleen came around, and she's been around a few times. This is the lady I mentioned earlier that's from literally the next kind of town or village over from where I was born. You come all the way to Spain to meet a lady from the next village over. Wombwell. I'm from Darfield, she's from Wombwell. And yeah, she brought Tina. She comes around once or twice a week and brings Tina either some dog food or some treats or a bone. Yeah, nice lady. Always tells a dirty joke as well. She's packed with quite dirty jokes. Yeah, a bit of a game old bird. Yeah. Hey, Colleen. But that was basically it for Thursday, and into Friday. Up early and under orders. Karen was leaving the country. Karen's family were leaving the country. And as I said, my chair had been piled up with crap, and there was piles of stuff in front of the chair. This whole room had not been used. This table was piled high with rubbish. Tina, you're doing something naughty. Stop. Stop now. Just hear it. There's paper tearing in there. I have no idea what she's got into, but there'll be something wrong when I go in there. And there's a smell in there as well. I'm not sure what she's done, but so I'm under orders. I had to get up at like 7 in the morning and sort through all of these bags, and embarrassed to say, so people bring me food. Yeah, they're leaving the country and they bring me a bag of what they've got in their fridge, or you know, and then someone else brings them in, and sometimes it gets too much and they get piled on top, and I lose track of what's where. And like 2 months later, I pick a bag up and there's 2 mouldy oranges in the bottom of a bag. You know, the weird thing is, this is what happens most of the time. I go to the Mercadona, the supermarket, superstore, greengrocers, whatever you're going to call it, grocery store. I go and I buy something. Let's say I go and I buy 5 kilograms of potatoes. Within the week, probably before I've even opened the bloody bag of potatoes, somebody will then bring me 3 or 4 kilograms of potatoes. My bag, sometimes the stuff at the bottom is the stuff that I bloody bought. And all the stuff has got piled on top. And I lose track. There'll be onions or potatoes or bananas or... I gotta go again, folks. I can hear shit happening through there. Tina! What is it? What are we doing? Oh! What is it? Stop it. Stop. Get your fucking snout out. Do not rob my food. Stop. Stop it. Be a good girl. And my light's on the floor, look. She's sat there. She's dug something out of the bin that she shouldn't have. Oh, let me turn that off and take that off. She's rooting through stuff she shouldn't be in. I don't know. Okay, where are we? What day are we on? Friday. I'm cleaning up because Karen's coming around. She's told me to make space. Now, she's got to go to the airport, so I've offered to go and meet them at the top of the road because I'm thinking she's only bringing a few things. I'll take the dog, we'll go meet her at the top of the road and I'll carry stuff. And she said, no, that won't work. She's bringing too much for me to go and just carry down. So they're going to drive down the little side road and drop it off here and then turn around and go. So this is when Karen comes and well, you know about the Christmas tree, you know about the fairy lights, but also there's beer, there's brandy, there's bags of food. There's, if you look over here, I don't know whether this will show in this light. Give us a second. Yeah, there you go, look. So you see the blue box there, the box with that's Christmas wrapping paper, the blue box, that's my Christmas present. And the orange bag above, that's my birthday present. And on top of that, there was, I'm not sure if it was 2 or 4 bottles of water. So they bring me all of this stuff, and I'm trying to help them be quick so that they can, so not to delay them to the airport. So I've offered to go and pick it at the top of the road, and she's like, no, there's too much for that. Because for those that are new, for those that are joining new, she brought me a Christmas tree. I'd asked for some fairy lights just to hang in the tent, and that's what I get instead. Well, no, that's what I get as well. I do have some fairy lights. She brought me 2 strings of fairy lights as well. Thank you, Karen and family. So yeah. So I've had to get up a couple of hours early to kind of clear the space and pack things into boxes and throw away the occasional little bit of rotting veg that got lost. But also what happened was, in the rain, I don't know whether it was the rain just the other day or whether it's probably from before, it got really wet in this part of the tent. The door leaked. I didn't have the plastic on properly. The door doesn't actually close, so I've got a tarpaulin strung over there, and it was blowing in, and so the rain was running down the tarp, but because the bottom of the tarpaulin was inside the tent, not out, it all got wet inside. I've got a carpet here, and then there was all these bags on the carpet, so it never dried out. So as I've moved all these bags and cleared this space, it's wet and it starts to kind of dry, evaporating. And the flies were just all, for that day, the flies were just fucking everywhere. It's all calmed down now, but something about the wet carpet just brought the flies in for all day Friday and maybe into Saturday morning. But yeah, also, yeah, I said about she brought prezzies and drink and food and USB cables. This light, USB-A, a cable connection at one end, and it takes a USB-C. But if you plug a proper USB-C cable, USB-C to USB-C, doesn't work, doesn't charge, doesn't follow the USB specs. It just expects USB to be hot to have power. And the USB-C spec, the ports are not charged until you send a signal to them. It doesn't follow the spec. And it's not the only thing. The little batteries that I've got that for other things don't either. And the cables that I did have that came with the batteries have all, you know, when a cable gets to the point where you have to start bending it, and it'll only work if you kind of stand on one leg, hop 3 times and rub your head anti-clockwise. We were at that point with these cables, and so Karen and family, they brought me a couple of new USB-A to C cables, just so that I can carry on living. So just so that a couple of my devices, the batteries in the batteries in this light, they're rechargeable, but there's no charger. You plug them directly into. You plug a USB-C cable directly in, USB-A at one end, USB-C at the other, to charge the batteries. So things like these different lights and the batteries in this head torch, all of these all rely on this. And I was down to the point where I only had one USB-C cable working, and it only worked if it was bent on a certain angle and you hopped on one leg and you know, rubbed your stomach and your head in opposite directions. It you know, it all got a bit hairy. I was almost out of ways to power these things. So bringing me a couple of cables is a lifesaver. Thank you, guys. Let's have a look here. I have to put this more over here, otherwise I can't read my own notes. Okay, so yeah, this was really early. They came around really early. Like I said, they were on the way to the airport. I think they were here before 8:30, or might have been 9 o'clock at a push. And you saw did you see if you've seen the video I did this morning where we'd got the sunshine over the sea and we'd got like thick rain clouds over here, clear overhead fortunately, but rain clouds and thunder clouds over there, and just hanging there like all day. Well, Friday was like that, really bizarre, but the clouds were a little bit closer. I think we still had them overhead, so we had this bizarre thing with like thunder clouds overhead, but we're stood in bright sunshine because the sun's low and coming in from over there. Really eerie, really quite eerie, quite a funny feeling about it. So yeah, anyway, I spent the day, because I got these new cables, I spent the day charging up all of my batteries and my lamps and getting everything charging so that I could put my fairy lights on, and making sure the EcoFlow was as charged as possible so that I put the Christmas tree up that evening or afternoon or evening, but made sure that I'd got everything powered and everything ready to go. And 4 in the afternoon on Friday, this is when my friend Tom came along and brought me a chicken dinner. I got people running around after me, folks. I got people bringing me, when Anthony's here, sometimes he'd bring me fish and chips or even take me to Tweeties. Yeah, but Tom, like I said, he brought me, some days he'll bring me a breakfast, and other days he's bringing me a chicken dinner. I'm spoiled. I think I said this yesterday on I think it was on Scruff Dog's channel. I sent him a little video. King of the Tramps. I'm sat here in like a queen on armchair with a rug inside my tent, with a Christmas tree, solar panel and the EcoFlow. Kind of sit. I arrived in this field with literally nothing. Two picnic blankets, 3 towels, and 1 holdall with some of my possessions in that got wiped out that first night by a flood. Phones, tablets, Kindle, book reader, power banks, ruined. First night here. And gradually, bit by bit, with people's help, a donation here and a donation there, a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, a Christmas tree here and a chicken dinner there. This is why I want to do the Thanksgiving thing, but I'm getting ahead of myself because that's a few days away. But I am very, very appreciative to everybody who's helped me at all. I'm an Englishman stuck in Spain by circumstance. Mainly not of my own making. Fucked over by my bank. I've got thousands of pounds in my UK bank account, but they've declared the account dormant. And I can only get that money by walking into my branch of my bank in England. And when I try and leave the country here, they arrest me. And I'm waiting on this court case thing sorting out so I can get home and then get into my branch and get my money. That's my kind of set of circumstances. And so any help I get from anybody is greatly appreciated. And the way that it's built up gradually, I mean, I've been here 2 years and 2 months in this field, I think, have I? October the 10th, the year before last I arrived here. So it's 2 years and a month and some days in this field, and even longer homeless. A couple of months longer. So I'm grateful to everybody for any and all help that I do get. I'm careful not to be... I know it looks ostentatious. Oh, he's got a Christmas tree. Oh, he's got a slow cooker. Oh, he's got a solar panel. Bit by bit. Bit by bit. Let me see, folks. Where are we? So Friday, Tom came and he brought food. That takes us to Friday night. If you know anything about me, Friday night tights on the Nerdrotic channel. Didn't watch it. I sat here. I had things playing. I was awake. I was watching things. And I just carried on watching what I was watching. I just wasn't in the mood for switching to that. Nothing against the guys. I still love the program. I love those guys. Just wasn't in the mood that night. I'll probably watch it tonight or tomorrow. I'll get to it. So Friday night. Whoa. I got movement inside the tent. There's a mouse in there somewhere. Oh, bastard. Oh, fuck it. I gotta find where they're getting in, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's all wide open. The big split's right down the side of the tent. You put a tarp over and cover it to keep water out, but you're not going to stop something from just walking in. I gotta buy some traps. My mouse traps from last year of all Chinesium. The springs are such tension. Whoa! The springs are such tension that they pull the staples out of the wood. There's like these little balsa wood platforms with staples through, and then you got the high tension springs for the trap. The spring will just pull the staples straight through the wood. But it's the only place I can get them. If there's anyone here in Torrevieja who can get me some good quality mouse traps that are not Chinesium, maybe something from a proper ferreteria, the ironmongers, the proper shops, I'd appreciate that if anyone's of a mind to. Other than that, I'll have to go and buy them in the Chinesium, and I'll be lucky if they last a couple of months. But here we are again. This is how we were last winter. If you watch, I think I did a video Christmas morning where I caught a rat, killed a rat in one of the bigger traps. And even that, you see, guys, even that has an emotional toll. I'm talking earlier about like my mental health and whether I'm depressed or dead mice, dead rats, dead whatever. It's not easy. You're still taking a life. It's not trivial. For me anyway. I don't know about you. But it's, I mean, I must have got about somewhere between 10 and 15 last winter of one flavour or another, whether it was the big ones or the little ones. But it was never easy for me, especially if you're in the same room. Trap goes off, you look, and the thing's still wriggling. It's in the death throes. And there was the one time it went off. It was the rat trap that went off, but it caught 2 mice at once. It caught one of them just by the tail, but still killed it. But it wasn't instant. Okay, yeah, so Friday night into Saturday morning. Let me see if I can read any of this. Oh, what just happened? I turned the brightness down by accident. Okay, Friday night into Saturday morning. And again, a small rain when the weather forecast says there's a 10% chance of 1/4 millimeter, and instead you get half an hour of torrential rain. I've done a few videos about weather forecasts, but yeah, there's a 10% chance of 1/4 millimeter, and instead you get over half an hour of fuck off torrential total fucking downpour. And what happened this time was at my roof, the tarp in the wind, the tarps moved some of these pegs, some of these clamps, and it's got a little bit of a loosening, you know, the plastic's not pulled taut, so you've got what's the word I'm looking for? That basically the roof's become concave instead of convex, and so the water settles. And because the tarp's been through a few storms, in particular the big heavy storm 3 weeks ago, the 60, 70, 80 km/h winds, the gusts that we had, and it's been clamped a few times, and the clamps have been put in different positions, and sometimes the teeth of the clamp will put little holes in, and then things move. The water settles in this, it pools in this basin kind of thing in the roof, and there'll be one little hole in the bottom of the basin, and all of this water that's pooled on your roof comes into the bedroom and starts dripping just past the bed. Not on the bed, fortunately, but just past. The fix is to go out and pull everything taut again, pull everything tight. Ideally, I'd get the duct tape and tape under where whatever hole is, but it's in the top of the roof and there's a bedroom underneath with extra fabric, and I can't, I'd have to take it off to patch the hole. Tina girl, steady, Tina, steady, 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 hey, quiet. She's protecting me from the cars that are coming past, or the evils of buses on the main road. She has to protect me. So ideally I'd have to take the roof off and patch these holes, and it's not really a workable, you know what I mean? If it was a more serious problem, I'd have to get it done, but it's a tiny problem that only happens if it's not pulled too taut, and if we get torrential rain, which doesn't happen that often. So it's not a big enough problem to be tackling at this point. So yeah, my main thing though is just the inaccurate weather forecasts. A 10% chance of hardly any rain, and instead we get a fucking half-hour torrential downpour. You know, when you walk outside and there are puddles like 3 inches deep all over the place. 3 inches, 7, 8 centimeters for metric folk. It's just inaccurate weather forecasts annoy the hell out of me. I know making predictions isn't easy, especially about the future. To paraphrase some intelligent blog that's probably more intelligent than me. So yeah, anyway, after the storm, morning walkies with the doggy, and like I said, this is where we see all these big puddles. But we go and we film a video out on the cliff tops, and this is where I chat with you guys and say, hey, I'm coming back. Tina, I can hear you. What are you doing? Whatever it is, stop now. She's into something she shouldn't be into. So yeah. Oh, this is the one. I went off, I filmed the video, I came back, couldn't find my glasses. And I'm at that point now where I'm blind as a bat without them. I mean, I'm not blind. I can see there's a phone there and a Christmas tree there, but I can't read. I can't read any of these numbers and work out what any of these little insignia mean, these little icons. I know that's an X, but I can't actually see an X. Without the glasses, I can't read. I'm no good. I'm honest. I spent half an hour looking for the damn things, and I remember I'd combed my hair, so I'd taken because you know the arms go back into. I'd taken them off, so I knew they must be there. I was worried that they'd like fallen off my head while I'm out, but no, I've taken them off and put them on the bed, next to the bed, on the cabinet. I don't know. Tina girl! Oi! I hear you. Stop. You've been a bugger today. But yeah, and I'm peeling back the layers, the different quilts and blankets and moving the pillows, and half an hour. I told you in the past, I think I've told the tale of how I lost a jacket potato in the bedroom, and it took me, I think that took over an hour to find, didn't it? I had 3 or 4 jacket potatoes on this chopping board, and I walked through there and one dropped off, and I ate what I had, and then this was like that, but glasses. And I had the worry that I'd dropped them and lost them outside, or I got them back eventually, but it was a worry. Now, this is where Colleen came round again and brought another juicy bone for Tina. Thank you, Colleen. That's twice, two visits this week. And the rest of the day was just more mentalist, and then in the evening, Saturday night, Big Clive Live, talked about that, and Scruff Dog. Just love hanging out in their chats on their live streams and just chatting with they're far more technical than me. I mean, I'm fairly technical when it comes to computers and phones and all that, or I was like 8 years ago before I came to Torrevieja, when I had my own internet business and web design and internet security and did all that. I'm way out of date and way out of touch now. But these guys are all way more technical, and they're technical in a more practical way. They're electricians and mechanics and engineers, a lot more hands-on. I struggle to kind of put a tarpaulin over a broken tent. Although I impressed myself when I built my first shelter out of 6 broom handles and a tarp and then some bendy branches to make the roof be convex rather than concave. Tina, I hear what you're doing and I want you to stop. One of us is going to be in trouble after this broadcast ends. Okay, what else have I got here? That was the Saturday night. That was the end of my Saturday night. That brings us into Sunday, and we're all almost done, folks. Almost done. Dog walk this morning. And then I did a video about the tent, and this was where last night I was chatting with someone online Joby, that used to live here in the field. I don't know how, if you've been with me a while, there used to be another guy in a tent under a tree. And he said to me last night he'd not quite appreciated how badly my tent had been damaged in the storms. I'd maybe not made it apparent enough. And then I discussed it, I think, in yesterday's video slightly. And so this morning, I figured the time was right to do a more in-depth video showing you guys, or trying to show, the extent of the damage here. It's difficult to show because it's covered now by tarpaulins. If you've got a big hole if you've got a wall missing and then you put a tarpaulin over it, how do you show someone that the wall's missing? There's a big sheet of plastic there. It's a tent, it's got a frame, it's got a big sheet of plastic. Where's the damage? Where's the harm? Like when I show you that the roof's missing here. How do I show you the roof's missing? Well, there's a big sheet of plastic over the roof. That. But I had to go anyway. I did the video this morning and released it, and it seems to have done all right. It's not doing too badly. So that was early this morning, and then it was a relax, watch some videos, and then we got to midday, and it's 12 o'clock. Normally I will start prepping my notes for TrampCast, for this broadcast, and I have to make a thumbnail, and I have to do the announcement. Hey, I have to type in some rubbish with YouTube. Then I have to battle the YouTube goblins to try and make the broadcast be the right way around. Because if you saw any of the previous, the last 10 or so TrampCasts, it's been a battle and a half. Just to, sometimes I've had to stop and recreate a whole new stream just to try and get, and even then sometimes it's in portrait when my phone's in landscape. And whether it does it but shows me wrong, or whether it shows me sideways, it's all up in the air. I got it right this time though. I don't know how, I don't know what I did different. Somehow it just worked. But yeah, I spent the afternoon prepping the notes, and then here we are. So that was the week that was, folks. Now, upcoming plans for the future. I've mentioned Thursday, Thanksgiving in America, and I'm going to do I think I'm going to do a Thanksgiving kind of video, just a thank you to everyone who's helped this past year. I did it last year, and as I said, it was quite cathartic. I was a little bit emotional during the video, but when I got back to the tent afterwards, I did it on the cliff tops. When I got back to the tent last year, I actually kind of wept. I actually broke down in tears. I have cried on camera before now, once or twice. Soft Jessie that I am. I don't want to break down in tears. So if that happens, I'll edit it. But I'm gonna do a Thanksgiving thing, giving thanks to everyone who's helped. That'll be Thursday. Friday, which is Black Friday, more of an American commercial thing than anywhere else, but as I understand it. But this year, that actually is. It's just flashed up telling me I'm live, as if I hadn't been for the past 2 hours. Did we lose connection for a second? I don't know. But Black Friday is actually my birthday as well. This Friday will actually, I think that's right, the 29th, will actually be my birthday. And then we've got the run up to Christmas as well, so we've got the preparations for that. And I've got to work out what money I've got, what resources I've got, and what I can do food-wise, whether I can actually cook a Christmas meal. Christmas tree just turned off. That's interesting. Whether I can cook a Christmas meal with the meager resources that I have here, and whether that will get me in trouble with the authorities because fire. All those things that they stole, my green plastic furniture, the bottles of water, the barbecue, they took the gas barbecue, they took it all away under the guise of fire risk. Green plastic garden furniture was a fire risk. Bottles of water were a fire risk. Flasks, a thermos flask and 2 metal single-walled containers, fire risk. Plates, knives, forks, pans, fire risk. So whether I just do a private meal for myself at Christmas or whether I actually do a cookery video, I've got a few cookery videos on the channel, cooking with a tramp. Although YouTube don't like the word, they don't like the tramp word. So I often use hobo as a substitute. But whether I can scrape together a video or whether I just have to do it in private to avoid the gaze of the authorities, I'm not sure. But these are the things that I've got upcoming, folks. These are the things I have to plan for and try and work around. I also have to work out why my Christmas tree just turned off and see whether I want to put it back on again. But I think that's it. I think that's us. I don't think I can keep waffling for another 4 minutes to make it to the 2-hour mark. What I will say is, cheers to you guys that have made it here to the end. Cheers to the subscribers. If you're not a subscriber and you're feeling left out, go down below the video, click the button, and then you'll be included. Cheers to the subscribers. And to all the people that have donated and that have helped me in this week and in the year as a whole. As I said, I've got birthdays coming up, we've got this Thanksgiving thing, and we've got Christmas on the horizon. So I'm thankful to each and every one of you. If you want to share this out there and tell other people, please do. Hit the like button if you haven't already. That always helps. I haven't done that. I didn't say this at the beginning of the program. Hit the like button, please. That sends a signal out there. After I finish this stream, if you leave a comment, not chat, but a comment afterwards, that would also be greatly appreciated. That helps. That just sends a little signal, a little boost signal to YouTube that people are interested and that there's interaction happening. Okay, folks, I can't do the from Tina and from me thing, so it's just from me, Delta Mike. Out.